Hello class, my name is Stephen Ochoa. Thank you for coming to my presentation regarding public administration theories applied to current events. So the two theories that we will be looking at today are Woodrow Wilson's dichotomy and bureaucracy as described by Max Weber. The first theory that we will be looking at is Woodrow Wilson's dichotomy. Woodrow Wilson envisioned a separation between politics and administration. There are some goals as a result of this separation that Woodrow Wilson wanted to achieve. This was execution of policy effectively and efficiency without undue political pressure from politicians, and to create an environment of professional and neutral bureaucrats in regards to implementing the policy that politicians had envisioned. It can be argued that COVID-19 severely blurred the lines of dichotomy, and as a result, the views and concepts of dichotomy can be altered or changed upon. An example that would be given is the CDC and health guidelines on a state and local level played roles in creating and implementing policy. So therefore, these bureaucrats and administrators created policy that revolved around mask mandates, social distancing, lockdowns, and vaccinations. And as a result, there were severe political responses, which turned this whole COVID-19 incident into a very political environment. Policy recommendations that the bureaucrats were making became the substance of what politicians were arguing about. And we can see these in two examples. Um, it can be argued, or it is argued by certain people that Dr. Messonnier, who was a director within the CDC, was removed from their post after giving the assessment that COVID-19 was going to be potentially severe and the U.S. needed to prepare. Therefore, Dr. Messonnier was sidelined because the administration at the time um, had the view that they did not believe that COVID-19 was going to be as severe as it ended up being, which is an argument in itself. And then a second doctor that was affected by the incoming administration was Dr. Alexander, who had an opposing view that if we supported herd immunity, I'm sorry, um, that this would be one way to fight COVID-19. And the new administration did not support this view either, so that Dr. Alexander, his role was minimized until he resigned. So therefore, we can see that during the COVID-19 responses, even the administrators and the bureaucrats were working under intense political pressure, and it can be seen that some of these bureaucrats and administrators were removed from their post for what they believed was doing their job. So, this leads me to my opinion that dichotomy can be changed, it can be upgraded, and it is something that can be reviewed as it is not in its purest form as Woodrow Wilson had envisioned. The next theory that we'll be looking at is bureaucracy by Max Weber. Um, Under bureaucracy, there are certain key concepts to understand, such as division of labor, where labor is divided amongst individuals and departments, hierarchy or a chain of command, rules and regulations, or established rules and procedures to carry out tasks and procedures, and personality within the workplace, and a merit-based hiring system. So, in regards to COVID-19, we can see that bureaucracy was heavily incorporated in regards to responding to the situation. Um, there was a collaboration between federal agencies, private companies, military logistic experts, which which aimed to accelerate development and production as well as distribution of COVID-19 supplies such as masks and vaccines. So all these different entities, this division of labor, help contribute to the mass production of mask respirators as well as vaccines and getting them out to the public. If it wasn't for this embracing of bureaucracy, um, this supplies would not have been made available to the public. Another success that could be included is FEMA coordinated the distribution of personal protective equipment through their logistics expertise to ensure that the resources reach areas in need promptly. This was based on the hierarchy within FEMA, their chain of command, where you had their analysts who would plan where the resources were needed, and they would give these needs to their supervisors who would coordinate with other divisions for the distribution of supplies. Um, Another success could be the federal bureaucracy worked with state and local governments to coordinate responses, share resources, and provide guidance. The collaborative effort ensured a more unified and effective national response to the pandemic. And lastly, when it comes to rules and regulations within a bureaucracy, we can see that the FDA played a pivotal role in granting emergency use authorizations for vaccines and treatments. This rigorous procedure ensured that approved vaccines and therapies were safe to give to the public according to the FDA. Therefore, we see that these concepts within bureaucracy were embraced. They were successful in their own measure, and as a result, COVID-19 was helped by bureaucracy, and bureaucracy was effective. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Have a great weekend.